Hey, look, it's Porthos from the Three Musketeers. Hey there, students. Actually, I'm not here to talk to you about the Three Musketeers, but about another French guy, René Descartes, who was a philosopher about the time of the scientific revolution. Thanks, Biddy, for that Three Musketeers joke. Also, quick shout out to Rhea and Swagner and the whole D-Rob crew. But I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to René Descartes, and specifically highlighting his most famous quotable, Cogito Ergo sum, which means, I think, therefore I am, when translated into English. Now, I'm going to take you through René Descartes' whole, method. He's got kind of these 7 principles that he lined out, and I think that it's a good thing to look at Descartes' general approach to truth, okay? So, first of all, let's start off with number 1, that in order to seek truth, it is necessary once in the course of our life to doubt, as far as possible, of all things. So instead of taking things on faith, as you would hear from church authorities and government authorities, and something's right because it's traditional or because it's what's told to you, it's what's been done, this is kind of a bit of a skeptical sort of vibe, like almost like a guilty until proven innocent type thing, if you want to think about it that way. That we should really presume that something does not exist or that something is not true unless we can prove that it's true. 2, that we ought also to consider as false all that is doubtful. So there you go again, that if we doubt it, it is presumed to be false, and if it's going to be true, we're going to have to prove it. Once again, this whole idea of we will doubt until we have proven something. 3, that we ought not to meanwhile make use of doubt in the conduct of life. Don't be that guy. All right, don't be the person who's just always going around like doubting stuff, like on a day-to-day thing and all of that kind of stuff. That's just annoying, all right? So let's not be that person. I mean, you've got kind of your philosophy time, and then you've got your lifetime or whatever. It sounds like I'm like recommending, TV for girls or something like that. But anyway. Number 4, we may doubt of sensible things. All right, now here's another thing, that not only can we doubt things that are told to us that are metaphysical, but we can also doubt things that we see, things that we hear, things that we taste. We can doubt the senses. Now, this takes us into an element of Descartes' thinking, and that is rationalism. And he believes here that we arrive at truth through reason rather than only through the senses. Now, when we arrive at truth through the senses, this is something called empiricism that we see a good bit of during the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment. And also another thing that is key to understanding Descartes is dualism, all right? That there is a difference between the realm of the mind and the realm of the body. That there are in fact 2 types of substance, all right? That I have a body, but then, according to Descartes, I also have a mind and a soul and all of these other things that exist independently of the body, okay? So there is the physical me, but then there is also the mental me, the spiritual me, that sort of thing that is not physical, but according to Cartesian dualism, it is still substance, all right? So the mental and spiritual and all of that kind of stuff, that is substance. It is just not physical substance. So that's the essence of Cartesian dualism. And this is something to understand, even though, like, if you want to get a really detailed explanation, go to, like, Dr. Sadler's channel or some other philosophy channel. Because I look at this thing and I'm just like, whoa, what is that? Like, those are some big old eyes, and why are they on top of each other? And all of that kind of stuff. But, it's kind of like, some old, like, gangster rap, like Ghetto Boys mind playing tricks on me, or whatever. I mean, look at that. It's like his hand is all like, and it's like, which one's my hand? It's like, your mind can play tricks on you. Sometimes we hallucinate, and all of that kind of stuff. So how can you know if something's real? Cuckoo, cuckoo. So to Descartes, empiricism is not enough. Just trusting the senses is not enough. Like, you've got to reason it out. And this is Descartes' dualism, which is opposed to materialism, which means that, everything is a material substance and what is not material substance does not exist. And that is where you will rely more on empiricism, if you believe that, on the senses only. Whereas Cartesian dualism also incorporates rationalism, incorporates the mind, all right? So in order for something to be real, then the mind and the senses have to work together in order to reconcile this, and it's not enough just to see it, or to hear it, or smell, or taste, or touch it, that it also has to make sense. On to number 5. We may also doubt of mathematical demonstrations. If you're taking a math class and your teacher's making you prove it, like in geometry and all that, it's like, wait, this is the answer, right? Okay, so I got it right. And then it's like, well, you have to prove it. You have to know this proof or that proof or this, the other proof. And it's like, math, that sort of thing. And yeah, Descartes, okay? Because it's just this whole thing that like, oh, even if you got something right in math, still got to prove it because it could be false. And you're like, Descartes! He's the same guy that did like the Cartesian plane and all that kind of stuff too, with the 4 quadrants and all that. So yeah, thank him for like all of that stuff that you hate in math, if you hate math. Some people like math. It's just not really my thing, Number 6, that we possess a free will by which we can withhold our assent from what is doubtful and thus avoid error. Now, then again, you've got the dualism going on, because no matter what's going on in the realm of the body, that you have a mind that thinks independently of the body. So therefore, you have a free will to embrace what you will embrace and to doubt what you will doubt. Now, let's not get too carried away, because here we go to number 7, that we cannot doubt of our existence while we doubt. And that this is the first knowledge we acquire when we philosophize in order. Now, notice when he says philosophize in order, he's got a method. In fact, one of his books he's most famous for is his Discourse on Methods. So there is a proper way to go about philosophy. And if we're going about it properly, we can't doubt our own existence, because while you can look at things outside yourself and wonder if they exist, within yourself, if I didn't exist, I wouldn't be able to think. And in fact, Descartes spent some time at one point where he was thinking about it, like, do I even exist? And finally, it occurred to him. He was like, yeah, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. So I know that I exist because I'm thinking. Wow, that's like really deep, isn't it? Okay. Unless you're Rhea and then you know that you exist because you subscribe to me on YouTube. By the way, if you want to subscribe, make sure you do that if you haven't already. For there is a repugnance in conceiving that what thinks does not exist at the very time when it thinks. Yeah, I mean, that'd be kind of dumb, right? You're like, hey, do I exist or not? And it's like, dude, you're thinking. Stop. All right, there needs to be a stopping point to all this stuff. Accordingly, the knowledge, I think, therefore I am, is the first and most certain that occurs to one who philosophizes orderly. Now, note again, as long as you're doing it the right way. Keep in mind that Descartes, along with Francis Bacon, one of the founders of the idea of the scientific method, there's a way that we do science. Now, of course, science at the time was known as natural philosophy. They didn't even say science. So really, the line between science and philosophy still kind of blurred at that time. So hopefully this has been helpful to you. All right, a little introduction to Descartes and the principles of the scientific revolution. There will be more videos on this topic coming up, so feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. If this helped you, TomRichey.net, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So, more videos soon. Till next time.